Hi again, it's Ms. Hochstetter to explain the mass and spring phet simulation for our Oscillating Particle Lab. So when you click on the link in Google Classroom, it's going to take you to this page. You're going to click play, which should open up this. Now there's intro, vectors, energy, and lab. You're going to click on the lab one, this one right here. So I'm going to click on that. We don't need the energy graph, so I'm just going to make that smaller there. And what you have is you have a setup with a spring and weights that you can add to it, and then it's going to oscillate back and forth like this. So in lab we would do this. You wouldn't use a simulation, you'd have a real spring and weights and whatnot to solve for that, and that's how you would do the lab. So let's talk about how you're going to do this. You need to pick an independent variable. So there's several things that you can change for this. You could change the mass. So if I put this here and I slide this, it changes the mass of the particle. So that could be a potential independent variable. You could also change the spring constant. So here we go. So you can change the spring constant, make it larger or smaller, and see how that affects the oscillation. Let's see, what else can you change? Oh, you can use the ruler, drag this out, and you can change the length from which you release it. So let's see, so this would be like 10 centimeters, and then you would count the oscillations. Or you could do like 20 centimeters and count the oscillations, 30, and so on and so forth. So you could do that as well. Another one that this simulation gives you the ability to do, which you wouldn't be able to do in the classroom, is you could change the gravity. So if you look here, like that would be less of a gravity, this would be more of a gravity, and it's going to change how the particle oscillates. So I'm going to put it back to Earth, which is 9.81, as you know. Damping, that basically just is how much friction is in the spring. So like if there's no damping, it's just pretty like even keel, but if you add more, it'll come to a stop faster, basically. So I would keep damping pretty low. Every spring in real life is going to have some friction in it, so I wouldn't put it necessarily all the way to none, because that would be assuming an ideal scenario, which isn't realistic in real life, but you can, mess around with what you want to do. Okay, so those are the things that you can change, and what you're going to be measuring for your dependent variable is the period, basically. So the period is how long it takes for one oscillation to go down and back up. So down and back up, that's one period. So you would do this with a timer, and you can use the one here, or you can use your phone or stopwatch or whatever you have in your house. But if you don't have one, then there's one right here. And what you're going to want to do to get the best results is you're going to want to have it oscillate 10 times. So here we go. 1, 2, well, I counted wrong. All right. So it does take a little bit of coordination. Even in the class, it takes a few trials before you get it. But all right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then you would stop the timer. So the reason why we're doing 10 oscillations is because it gives it 10 times to go through the cycle, and you'll get a total time, and then if you divide that time by 10, it'll give you that roughly the best average for one. It's really hard to do the timer and this and be accurate with just one oscillation, so that's why I want you to do 10 oscillations, get the total time, then divide that number by 10 to get the period. Okay, and then once you're done doing the lab part, you're going to make a graph. I know that's going to be maybe hard to do on the computer, but you can draw the graph at home and take a picture and insert it into the Google Doc if you'd like. Otherwise, you can I don't know if you guys know how to use Excel to make a graph. You could do that. Maybe Desmos. I don't know how to use Desmos so well, but those are options you can use to make your graph to insert into the thing. And this is going to be graded based off how well you do on it. So do, put some effort in to make sure it looks nice. This is our introduction to waves. And, I just want to make sure you're getting it. If you have any questions, of course, you can email me or come to my office hours. And that is all for now.